Yo, what's going on, guys? CultofMush back at it with an $800 gaming PC build. I haven't done an $800 build in a long time, and looking over this build, if you drop $800 on a PC, which isn't like an insane amount, I think when people talk about an insane budget for a PC, you're talking about $1,500 or at least like that $1,200 range. But even at $800, you can build one hell of a PC for that price, getting great performance at 1080p. We're talking 50 to 60 FPS on the highest end games at really high settings, maybe not quite maxed out at some of those games, but you're gonna be getting a really amazing gaming experience out of an $800 build, so let's go over this. So getting right into this, for the CPU, I went with the Intel Core i5-6500 3.2 GHz quad-core processor. Yes, this isn't the 6600K. It's not as easily overclockable, but the 6500 is cheaper in price, of course, and it's still clocked in at 3.2 GHz, and it offers a lot of power for the price. And as long as you pair this CPU with a quality GPU, you will be getting very good performance. And the thing about these CPUs is that it does also come with a stock cooler, so you save money there too. So the i5-6500 I think was the perfect option for this build. If you do have some extra cash, maybe the 6600K is the route you want to go, but then you need to get a better motherboard too. And I just think at a budget, the i5-6500 is the best option at around $198. For the motherboard, I went with the Gigabyte GA-H170M-D3H Micro ATX LJ1151 motherboard. Now, yes, it is a Micro ATX board, but at a budget, it's not like you need all the features in the world. If you're only dropping $800 on a PC, chances are you're not the kind of person that's looking to go for an SLI configuration in the future, so that should be fine. As far as specifications, you've got 4 RAM slots on this, up to DDR4 2133 and up to 64 gigabytes of max memory. It's got RAID support, 2 SATA 6 gigabit per second ports, and 2 SATA Express ports, and it's got onboard USB 3 headers. It's got great reviews and a very user-friendly BIOS, and at $90, it's a very good option for an $800 build. Nothing crazy, but it's also not gonna break your wallet like some of the other motherboards, which go for like $120 to $130. You really can't justify dropping that kind of money in a budget like this, so this motherboard will work great. For memory, Kingston HyperX Fury Black 8GB, 2 4GB sticks running at DDR4 2133 MHz for around $40. What a great price for 8GB of DDR4 RAM. If you do want to cave in and go for a 16GB configuration, that isn't much more expensive, but that's not completely essential right now. But considering how cheap it is, that just might be something you want to go for right away instead of, say, upgrading 6 months to a year down the line. But I just want to let you guys know 8GB of RAM is still perfectly fine for the majority of games. I play pretty much every new release on PC. I run 8GB of DDR3 RAM and I'm still doing pretty well. And given the price, $40 for 8GB of RAM is just a steal, especially for DDR4 memory. And like I said, the motherboard does have 4 RAM slots, so in the future you can make a very easy upgrade. Moving on to storage, first the mechanical drive, the Western Digital Caviar Blue 1TB 7200 RPM hard drive, going for around $50. The Caviar Blue is gonna be your mass storage drive, where you're gonna keep your games, your excess media, your movies, music, all that kind of stuff. You want to put that on the Caviar Blue. And yes, in an $800 build, you will easily be able to fit in an SSD. The OCZ Trion 150 120GB SSD is only $43, which is just an absolute insane price for an SSD. I mean, if you go back years ago, you were spending triple this kind of price for the same storage space. Just great to see how far we've come in terms of SSD prices, and no doubt they're just going to be getting lower. 120GB is kind of limiting. However, if you just keep your OS on there and your absolute key applications, that amount of storage is going to be fine. I do prefer to have a 240GB SSD, but in an $800 budget, that's going to be a little difficult. Having 240GB just gives you a little bit of extra headroom, which is very nice. I just found that 120GB after like some updates and stuff gets very limiting very quickly, but if you manage it well, it is fine. And given how cheap it is, even in an $800 build, you really have no excuses anymore not getting an SSD. $43 for 120GB, that's just an absolute insane deal. But obviously, we're still at a point where you need that mechanical drive. 120GB is just not enough, and you need the mass storage that the Caviar Blue offers for a great price. Moving on to the video card, the Gigabyte GeForce GTX 1060 6GB model is available for $255 after a $20 mail-in rebate. That is an absolutely fantastic deal for the 1060. A lot of 1060s recently I've been seeing going for $290 to $310, so for $255, that's a damn good deal. And the 1060, this is the 6GB model, so that's definitely nice, and performance-wise, this card is insane. We're talking 50 to 60 FPS in games like The Witcher 3, Deus Ex Mankind Divided, which is a little bit difficult to run, the Battlefield games, Rise of the Tomb Raider, all of those games that are pretty much essential when you talk about benchmarking video cards. This GTX 1060 does really well in them. And the fact that the price right now is very reasonable, I just think this is a great option for a mid-range gaming build. And even when you're building a mid-range PC right now, we're talking 1080p 60 FPS in a lot of games. That's just great to see. And this is one hell of a video card, and pairing it with the i5 6500 is going to give you a beast of a gaming experience. For the power supply, I went with the Rosewill Hive 550 watt 80 plus bronze certified semi-modular power supply. This is $55, nothing too expensive. The i5 6500 is very power efficient, as is the 1060 given the kind of GPU that it is. For $55, you're getting a 550 watt power supply. It's semi-modular, so cable management will be a bit of a breeze. And yeah, you really didn't need to go for anything higher end. Like I said, this motherboard can't go for a SLI configuration anyway, so picking up something like a 700 or 800 watt power supply would have just been a waste of money, and a 550 watt will get the job done, and for $55, it's solid. Finally, for the case, I went with the Corsair 200R ATX mid-tower case. This is a case that I've been recommending quite a bit. It's only around $60, and aesthetically, it's fairly basic, but that shouldn't be a major concern when you have a budget like this. All you really want is a case that's reliable and efficient for the price, and that's exactly what Corsair is offering with the 200R. Corsair has a great track record with the majority of their cases, and the 200R is one that really fits in a lot of builds. Whether you're building a $500 PC or an $800 PC, the 200R just finds itself in there because it's only $60, and for that price, it's giving you everything you need out of a case. And that's mainly what you're looking for when you're looking at a case at this price range. So that's gonna wrap up this video, guys. Hope you enjoyed. Just absolutely insane what you can pick yourself up for only $800, which, yes, comparatively to a console, that is a lot more expensive. But about 3-4 years ago, $800 was seen as a pretty good PC, but nothing amazing. But honestly, a PC like this, I would consider amazing because of the kind of performance you're getting. So yeah, if you've got $800 to spend, you can get yourself one hell of a PC. If you like this video, make sure to hit the like button. If not, you can dislike. If you have a request for a future video, you can leave that in the comment section down below, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.